Are you aware of that?
I am. Oh, wait, no.
You did not see a Jeep with a snowplow on the front parked in between you.
I did not.
You certainly did not see a full-sized Jeep Wrangler outfitted with a snowplow between the SUV and Ricky's truck.
I did not.
And I took a left into the driveway and there was a Jeep there.
And after the Jeep was the SUV.
Fairview, maybe by our mailbox.
Exactly where was your Jeep in front of that house?
By the mailbox. Around equal with the mailbox.
Did any car pull in between Ricky's truck and the SUV when you were sitting behind the SUV?
No, sir.
By the mailbox.
You didn't see a Jeep?
No, sir.
With a big old snowplow on the front of it?
No, sir, I did not.
By the mailbox.
That car was never between your car and the SUV, was it?
I never saw any other vehicle in between us.
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
I will. I didn't mean to step on your words. I thought you...
That's okay, you can continue.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Regard to the home when you get there, what did you do when you got there?
Well, I was kind of being a smart ass and I dropped the plow and I did a little sweep of the driveway. And then I got out of the driveway because I didn't want to get blocked in.
This response by Brian Higgins always gave me a huge indicator of deception. After watching thousands of hours of people testifying and questioning people throughout my entire career, there was something about this response that always bothered me.
And I parked.
With regard to the home, what did you do when you got there? Well, I was kind of being a smartass and I dropped the plow and I...
Fortunately, the YouTube channel, The Truth Revealed, analyzed the very same question. And this gentleman here provided great analysis as to why he and myself feel that old Higgy Bear is being super deceptive when responding to that particular question.
I did a little sweep of the driveway and then I got out of the driveway because I didn't want to get blocked in and I parked. The reason Higgins got out of the driveway was not because he didn't want to get blocked in. The explanatory plus a negative statement makes that statement deceptive. It's a simple statement. So we have to figure out what's the deception here. Being a smartass? No, I think he's truthful on that. I dropped the plow, I did a little sweep of the driveway, and then I got out of the driveway because I didn't want to get blocked in. The lie is actually here. I did a little sweep of the driveway. How could that be a lie? Why?
And I always felt the same way. We know Higgy Bear was the first to arrive at 34 Fairview. It wasn't snowing that much at that time. And since we know that Canton police officers can't solve a crime, the responsibility is upon us now to figure out why Higgy Bear was lying about this issue.
Why would you lie about that? And the answer is the lie is in the time. I don't think that he actually did the sweep of the driveway before Higgins got there.
Neither do I.
You're probably thinking, of course he did. That's how the timeline goes. But that is not what the language is telling us here. Something as big as a sweep of the driveway, if it's mentioned, it's important information. So we cannot disregard this no matter what. This is a very problematic statement. He's giving you a timeline and his language is telling you that he's giving you wrong, inaccurate information. Do you recall where you parked in relation to the house?
The second part of this video is going to focus exclusively on why Higgy Bear lied about where he parked once he arrived at 34 Fairview.
So, right off the bat with an explanatory, the back end of the gray Jeep would have been right around the mailbox itself, and the edge of the driveway is right there. I wanted to make sure that I was not blocking the driveway or blocked in.
The beauty of this channel is he analyzes the exact words, including all the fillers, like, you know, in order to give his analysis of whether the witness is being deceptive.
Restates the idea of not wanting to get blocked in. This indicates to me that he wants to ensure that everyone heard that answer and that it didn't get glossed over. That means that the answer is deceptive. We have the I, which means there's deception, that this what follows the I is deceptive. I wanted to make sure that I was not blocking the driveway or blocked in. Because this is deceptive, right? This is deceptive. That is a made up story. So let's go back up here real quick because I didn't want to get blocked in. Okay, that is deceptive and I parked. The deception that we see in this statement is either he didn't plow the driveway at this time or he plowed the driveway at this time for a reason, something that he's not willing to tell you, something that's omitted. So that would mean to destroy evidence or something like that. Because we know the timeline at this point that Reed and O'Keefe weren't there yet, it makes it highly unlikely that he was destroying evidence before anything happened.
Which is a great point. If Higgy Bear arrived first, he's most likely not going to go into the house. One hypothesis is Higgy Bear moved away and waited for Karen and John to arrive, and then assaulted John when he got the chance.
That means either the timeline is wrong or he's creating a wrong timeline here, and that the sweep of the driveway didn't happen at this point. So you arrived at the house, you did the maneuver with the plow in the driveway, then you parked the vehicle, and where is it that you go from there? And he says, into the house. There's no indication of time here. Into the house. There's no verb. This actually is a sentence fragment. This isn't even a sentence. When you get a sentence fragment that has no subject, no verb, into the house is a prepositional phrase. This is a nonsense statement that it actually doesn't mean anything. It doesn't even mean into the house because there's no person assigned to it.
And if he's being deceptive there, that supports the claim that Higgy Bear did not go into the house straight away and perhaps waited, maybe down the block, for Karen and John to arrive.
Action, which means he's dodging this question. He does not give you an answer to that.
But because there's all this talk about sweeping the driveway, now in my mind, there's other reasons why the snow accumulation could be problematic.
When Higgy Bear said sweeping the driveway, everything in me felt as if he was being super deceptive, mainly because there was hardly any snow on the ground. If he wanted to be a smartass, it wouldn't be funny because he wouldn't be able to move anything.
And why is he lying about the accumulation of snow? There's way too many indicators of deception here. The question is, as far as the accumulation that you described before, you could still see the blacktop when you left the waterfall. What was it like when you came out of the house again? This answer should be either there was a light dusting of snow, there was some accumulation, it was clear. An honest answer would be direct and it would answer the question. And after, again, we have I, which is a strong indicator of deception. 2 eyes is okay. That's an indicator of huge sensitivity. 3 eyes is an indicator of deception. I think, so now we have a reduction in commitment, that the streets that weren't being traveled, that's a negative statement. There was, so now we have a change in the verbiage and repeating of the verb was, there was snow on them, there was coverage. The question is, how much coverage was there? And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 4 or 5 indicators of deception and then no answer to the question. So this caused me to go back and look this up. It's possible that there's a light dusting of snow at the house at 1 a.m. Now this puts a couple things into perspective for me. Number one, there's no possible way that he plowed the driveway at midnight when he got there.
100% agree.
Because it didn't even start snowing for an hour after that. I mean, we already have reason to believe that he plowed the driveway when he left, not when he got there. But now this is evidence. This is actual evidence that there was no snow. 1 a.m. to 1:30, we have about 0.6, so about half a millimeter worth of precipitation. And this is an accumulation. This is snow. Here we have, in fact, there's absolutely no reason that he would do a sweep of the driveway, even as he's leaving. He couldn't possibly, when he got there or when he left, have any reason to do that. It would not help them out at all. Even playing around, it wouldn't even be noticeable.
That you parked in front of the house, correct?
I did.
Exactly where was your Jeep in front of that house?
By the mailbox. The back end of the Jeep, the rear, would have been around equal with the mailbox, and I was not blocking the driveway.
And the rear of the Jeep was basically even with the mailbox strut or stanchion?
It was definitely past the driveway, yes.
And so, Mr. Higgins, did he come in around the same time as you, or did he come after, before?
This is Nicole Albert. She's married to Brian Albert. Both live at 34 Fairview at the time.
Yeah, he came in the same time. I mean, I think he might have pulled up to our house before us. But we got out of the car and went right into the house, so I assume he just came in, basically around the same time.
And that gives the hypothesis that Brian didn't immediately go into the house and was probably waiting down the street some more weight.
Do you have any idea sort of what Mr. Higgins was driving that night when he came to your house?
I believe it was a Jeep.
Do you have any idea where, in reference to your house, where Mr. Higgins parked?
I'm not sure. I thought it was out on the curb.
God damn it, we have a script. He parked in front of the mailbox.
Facing up Fairview, maybe by our mailbox.
That a girl.
But it could have been in the driveway. I'm not 100% sure.
Not something you were particularly paying attention to?
No.
Bullshit. As I told you before, people in the suburbs, especially the white suburbs, are always looking out their window and always know who's parked in front of their house.
And you mentioned that Mr. Higgins had sort of scooped with the plow like in the driveway and then parked on the street. Do you recall where in relation to your house or your driveway he parked?
So no, I don't remember where Brian Higgins parked. I remember him pulling out so I could pull in, and then I didn't really see where he parked.
Now, At some point, when Ms. Nagel goes outside, what, if anything, drew your attention to the outside of the house?
The Miss Nagel that we're referring to is a younger girl who was at the house for the Albert's son's party. She had asked her brother to pick her up from the house, and he, along with two other people, traveled to 34 Fairview in order to pick her up.
Or when she was opening the door, her or somebody referenced that there was another vehicle out front.
And when you get in the area of the house, you park at some point?
And this is old Ricky. He was driving a pickup truck to the house to pick up Mrs. Nagel.
Yes,
And where was it in relation to the house that you parked the truck?
right in front of the driveway.
Now, you mentioned that there was another vehicle that was parked in front of the house as well, is that correct?
Correct.
And if you could, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to where in the photograph that is.
Right in front of the driveway, right there.
Ricky's clearly indicating he parked right in front of the driveway.
Now, also within this photograph, do you see the general area where you observed that SUV in front of you while you were out in front of it?
If I had to guess, I would say maybe half.
And that vehicle was Karen Reed's.
When you got there, your best memory is that the black SUV was already parked outside the residence, correct?
Correct.
And it was facing in the same direction that you were facing as you approached the residence.
Yes.
And there was nothing obstructing your view as you sat in the driver's seat of your Ford F-150 of the back of that black SUV, correct?
Correct.
You did not see, for instance, a Jeep with a snowplow on the front parked in between you.
I did not.
And in fact, you
Uh-oh.
didn't see a Jeep with a snowplow parked anywhere on the property that you recall, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Exactly where was your Jeep in front of that house?
By the mailbox.
And you didn't see any other vehicles parked along the property line other than yourself and the black SUV, correct?
Correct.
That is huge. And you have to remember the prosecution called this witness, along with the two other people in his truck. And so far, Ricky, who's driving the truck, not only didn't see Higgy Bear's Jeep in front of him, he didn't see any other cars parked on the street.
And so upon hearing that, where did you go?
Upon hearing that, we just assumed that was obviously John and Karen. Looked out to see the other vehicle out in front of the house.
Front door, when you looked out, what if anything, did you see?
I noticed the big SUV parked in front of the house.
Now, as far as the other vehicle, did you observe at least enough to know whether or not it was behind the dark edge?
This is Matt McCabe. He was at the party. He's testifying to what he saw when he looked out the window when the girl left the house to go to Ricky's truck.
SUV in front of the dark SUV or something else?
Yeah, it was to the left. It was equivalent to where the driveway was. And then after the end of the driveway, there was a...
And he just testified as he was looking out the window, he saw Karen Reed's SUV and Ricky's truck. However, this big dope better stick to the script. He better say that Higgy Bear's Jeep was parked right in front.
A Jeep, and after the Jeep was the SUV,
That's my boy.
the dark SUV.
You did not see a Jeep with a snowplow on the front parked in between you.
I did not.
Position, is that visible in this photograph?
I'd probably catch the very back end because there was a Jeep parked right here, so it'd be right there.
Demonstrate to the jury where that vehicle was the first time that you saw it.
Say right about here, in this general
And that would be Karen's car.
area.
Did the SUV that was in front of you go to the same house?
Yes.
This girl was traveling in the backseat of Ricky's pickup truck and was parked right outside 34 Fairview with Karen Reed's car right in front of it.
When you get to the house, where was it that Ricky parked the truck in relation to the house?
Right outside the house, probably a little past the mailbox, past the driveway.
Can you describe the distance sort of between where you are in Ricky's truck and where the vehicle is in front of you?
We were parked right behind it, just a couple feet, maybe.
You certainly did not see a full-sized Jeep Wrangler outfitted with a snowplow between the SUV and Ricky's truck.
I did not.
That's not good for Higgy Bear.
That's quite a bit of detail about where that Jeep was. Would you agree?
No, because I drove down the street and I took a left into the driveway and there was a Jeep there.
Okay. Your memory was not just somewhere in front of the house. It's literally right in front of the mailbox, the front end of it, adjoining the line of the driveway, correct?
Yes,
That detail obviously stuck out in your mind.
it did, because I was wondering whose Jeep it was.
Jen's not only extremely good looking, she knows how to follow the script. This is someone I like to work with.
Did you discuss that detail with your husband at any point?
Not sure.
Between then and now, have you and Mr. McCabe ever discussed where that Jeep was, or your memories of where that Jeep was?
Obviously, anyone in the entertainment business knows you have to practice your lines.
Possibly.
You're aware that he put the Jeep in the exact same place that you did.
Are you aware of that?
I am. Oh, wait, no. Excuse me. Repeat the question?
You're aware that he puts the Jeep in the exact same spot you just put the Jeep, right in front of that mailbox, right?
I know he knows where the Jeep was. I'm not aware what he said in here.
If he knows what's good for him, he better know where that damn Jeep is.
Does he know where the Jeep was because you told him what to say about the Jeep?
Absolutely not. It's because we drove together in the car, and I asked. I possibly could have asked.
One at a time, please, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your words. I thought you...
That's okay. You can continue.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I did not need to tell Matt where the Jeep was. He knew because we were in the car together.
Another Freudian slip.
But you two discussed it.
When are you asking?
At any time.
We're going to have to ask that expert from the channel The Truth Revealed. I don't remember. When a witness responds by asking a question, is she being deceptive?
Between January 29th and today.
I'm sure we have, yes.
And you told Trooper Proctor that when you arrived at the scene, after you got there, you, quote, first observed the vehicle, meaning Miss Reed's SUV, parked on the street by the driveway facing the direction of Chapman.
I told him that when I looked out the front door, the car was straight ahead. And yes, it was facing up Chapman.
But you left out a little part by the driveway, correct?
That could have been his interpretation or an error on his part.
I see. So Trooper Proctor is wrong about what you said.
Do you think he's wrong about what you said?
I 100% said it was straight out the front door.
Okay, next question, please.
She's extremely confident about where Karen's car was parked, but there's so many indicators of deception when she speaks about Higgy Bear's Jeep.
During the course of that conversation, you never once, Miss McCabe, not once, mentioned a several-ton Jeep with a snowplow attached to it, did you?
I'm not sure if I did or not.
Let's take another look at the report. Would that refresh your recollection to see the report?
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
You've had an opportunity to review
I have, yeah.
And you were asked what you saw, what you observed in front of 34 Fairview on that morning, correct?
He asked specific questions about Miss Reed's vehicle.
And when you said where you remember Miss Reed's vehicle being, you placed it in the exact spot where you're now saying there was a Jeep with a snowplow on it, correct?
Uh-oh.
Incorrect. I never placed Miss Reed's car in the spot where Mr. Higgins' vehicle was.
So as Trooper Proctor was taking notes about what you were saying, he just got it wrong.
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
I will. And you never mentioned, according to that report, not one word about a Jeep, right?
I may never have been asked about a Jeep.
You also weren't asked about a Nissan Altima. You mentioned that?
No.
Right. Because what he asked you was, what did you observe in front of the house? Ma'am, that's what he asked you, wasn't it?
No.
And you said, I observed her car by the mailbox.
No.
And you never mentioned the Jeep, did you?
You are not portraying what the conversation was.
Did you or did you not mention a Jeep sitting on that, right by that driveway to Trooper Proctor? Yes or no?
It's not in the report. I don't recall if he asked me about a Jeep.
I know that I beat Brian and Nicole back to the house.
Regard to the home when you get there, what did you do when you got there?
Well, I was kind of being a smart ass, and I dropped the plow and I did a little sweep of the driveway, and then I got out of the driveway because I didn't want to get blocked in.
Everything in me tells me he's being super deceptive about something that's very serious. There are theories he used a plow to discard evidence after John O'Keefe was attacked. Was he waiting in that Jeep somewhere else when he texted John, "Are you coming here?" Did he attack John when he saw him wandering around the house? Was there something in that driveway that he had to get rid of using that plow?
And I parked.
Do you recall where you parked in relation to the house?
I do, by
Yeah, we know. The mailbox.
the mailbox. So the back end of the Jeep would have been right around the mailbox itself. And the edge of the driveway is right there. I wanted to make sure that I was not blocking the driveway or blocked in.
You pulled up to Fairview and stopped relatively close to the driveway, as you've indicated to the jurors, correct?
Correct, sir.
In your car was...
This is the girl's brother who was also in Ricky's pickup truck. Remember, now we have 3 witnesses that saw Karen Reed sitting in a car alone, idly in front of 34 Fairview.
as much as 3 car lengths behind that SUV. Do you recall that?
When we arrived,
Yes.
I would say car length and a half at the time.
Did any car pull in between Ricky's truck and the SUV when you were sitting behind the SUV?
No, sir.
You didn't see a Jeep?
No, sir.
With a big old snowplow on the front of it?
No, sir, I did not.
That car was never between your car and the SUV, was it?
I never saw any other vehicle in between us.
This is absolutely critical to Karen Reed's case. We now have 3 independent witnesses that have no dog in this fight who clearly contradict the script that Higgy Bear's Jeep was parked right in front of the mailbox. But the real question is, why is Higgy Bear lying about this? We know we cannot rely upon the police officers of Canton, Massachusetts. Fighting crime is not their cup of tea. So now the responsibility is ours in this community. We are going to keep up this fight inch by inch until we smoke out the real killer.